I thought to myself that I was near my foe and far from my friends, and I called to the woman, "What are you doing here?" And she said to me, "What brought you here?" I told her myself word upon word how I came. "Well then," said she, "it was so I came also." She showed me to the place where I should come, and where she was. I went in, and I said to her, "What was the matter that you were putting the knife on the neck of the child?" "It is that he must be cooked for the giant who is here, or else no more of my world will be before me." Just then we could be hearing the footsteps of the giant. "What shall I do? What shall I do?" cried the woman. I went to the cauldron, and by luck it was not hot, so in it I got just as the brood came in. "Hast thou boiled that youngster for me?" he cried. "He's not done yet," said she, and I cried out from the cauldron, "Mammy, Mammy, it's boiling I am." Then the giant laughed out high, "Haw, Hoger each," and heaped some wood under the cauldron. And now I was sure I would scald before I could get out of that. As fortune favored me, the brood slept beside the cauldron, ere I was scalded by the bottom of the cauldron. When she perceived that he was asleep, she set her mouth quietly to the hole that was in the lid, and she said to me, "Was I alive?" I said I was. I put up my head, and the hole in the lid was so large, that my head went through easily. Everything was coming easily with me till I began to bring up my hips. I left the skin of my hips behind me, but I came out. When I got out of the cauldron I knew not what to do, and she said to me that there was no weapon that would kill him but his own weapon. I began to draw his spear, and every breath that he drew I thought I would be down his throat. And when his breath came out I was back again just as far, but with every ill that befell me I got the spear loose from him. Then I was as one under a bundle of straw in a great wind, for I could not manage the spear, and it was fearful to look on the brute, who had but one eye in the midst of his face, and it was not agreeable for the like of me to attack him. I drew the dart as best I could, and I set it in his eye. When he felt this he gave his head a lift, and he struck the other end of the dart on the top of the cave, and it went through to the back of his head, and he fell cold dead where he was. And you may be sure, O king, that joy was on me. I myself and the woman went out on clear ground, and we passed the night there. I went and got the boat with which I came, and she was no way lightened, and took the woman and the child over on dry land, and I returned home. The king of Lachlan's mother was putting on a fire at this time, and listening to Conall telling the tale about the child. "Is it you," said she, "that were there?" "Well then," said he, "'twas I." "Och, said she, "was I that was there, and the king is a child whose life you saved, and it is to you that life thanks should be given." Then they took great joy. The king said, "Oh, Conall, you came through great hardships, and now the brown horse is yours, and a sack full of the most precious things that are in my treasury." They lay down that night, and if it was early that Conall rose, it was earlier than that the queen was on foot making ready. He got the brown horse and a sack full of gold and silver and stones of great price, and then Conall and his 3 sons went away, and they returned home to the air and realm of gladness. He left the gold and silver in his house, and he went with the horse to the king. They were good friends evermore. He returned home to his wife, and they set in order a feast, and that was a feast if ever there was one. "O son and brother,"